The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.
Hello there, and welcome to The Force of Others. I'm Matt Boydner.
Oh, Noah, Fulcrum Noah, sorry.
You're good. I
thought
should have told you it was going to be fast.
No, we're all good. Fulcrum Noah, what's going on?
Normally, Fulcrums are rebel agents that are like impossible to find. They're so hidden, but that is not the case today. We've got him on the show. It took some doing. We played.
I was going to say it kind of was when you think about how long it took for this actually to happen. 2 months or something like that. But
yeah, it was some Instagram kind of like DM back and forth, DM tag, I guess, over many, many months. But we made it happen. We got him here today. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Spotify, host of A More Civilized Pod.
Yep.
And go check that out after you've watched or listened to this. But go check out that stuff as well. Are you on any other social media or anything?
Primarily, More Civilized on YouTube and Spotify, of course. So then Fulcrum Noah on Instagram and TikTok as well, though I'm not as active. And I started posting on Facebook to see how I think about that. So you can also find me there. But the accounts are linked, so it should be quite easy. But
right on.
Yeah.
Well, and I said we were going to open with a game, but I'm wrong because I always want to ask this. I'm always curious. What made you decide to be a Star Wars content creator?
Yeah. I mean, I want to say my story is probably similar to everyone. You know, parents got you into Star Wars, became an obsession very quickly. But yeah, like I kind of fell out of, like, you know, everyone goes through that lull period during their like careers as fans. And that was, for me, it was like, you know, that elementary school era. You're growing up, fell out of love with it. And then, you know, the Clone Wars 2008 movie came around. And I was like, as a kid, I thought it was fantastic. You know, looking back on it now, it's questionable. But, you know, it's still some good nostalgia. But yeah, it was The Force Awakens, that 2015 era. I was just entering high school. And, you know, it just reignited my passion for Star Wars. But like, I'm in high school now. So looking at Star Wars and being a fan of it, I find was more niche back in the day than, you know, I feel like being a nerd now is more widely accepted.
Yeah.
But back then I didn't really have anyone who liked Star Wars, at least on the, like, my dad did, so I can talk with him. And like, I had one or two friends here that enjoyed the movies, but none of them knew the niche sort of information that I had, or the depth to knowledge that I had. Now, I'm not saying I know the most out there, but I had more than the general population would. And I just kind of wanted like an outsource somewhere that I could share this passion and connect with people. And then one day I was like, you know what, why don't I just start posting on Instagram? And I think it was January right after The Force Awakens came out. And I was like, you know what, let me just start posting, create a space where I can like connect and talk to people. And I think it's been 10 to 11 years now that I've been running this, and ups and downs, obviously. You know, sometimes it feels more of a job than a hobby. But yeah, I'm loving it. I get to meet cool people. I get to meet you, Sam, amazing, Jawadin, shout out. And just like, you know, the incredible people of the fandom.
Yeah, it's it's a similar thing for me. I forget when exactly I called out to my co-host, shout out Zach, who's never available for things like this because he's always working. But I just texted him, was like, hey man, that podcast we've been talking about since college, let's do it. But I have been so surprised with how I had no idea how many Star Wars podcasts and how many content creators that there are.
Yeah,
I had no
That's crazy.
clue. I wasn't on like Star Wars Instagram when I started this podcast, and then I just started to discover, oh my gosh, there are so many more that I ever would have known. But we all do it because we love it. And speaking of things that we love, this is a non-Star Wars tangent that I forgot I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
So I've just seen on your Instagram, you're a fan of the comic Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Right? So time of recording, I don't know when this is coming out, but we're currently about like 2 weeks away from the movie?
Like a week. I think it's...
We're like, yeah, that's right.
I think it's a week, because not this weekend, but the following weekend, the 24th. Don't quote me on the date, but I think it's late next week.
Well, so whenever this comes out, I'll ask you for how you felt about the movie, but leading up to it, how are you feeling about this Supergirl movie?
I am so excited. Big comic fan. Funny enough, Woman of Tomorrow is not a comic I read a while ago. It was more recently with all the hype of Supergirl coming out. I was never like a big DC person growing up. I was like strictly Marvel, like X-Men, Spider-Man, not even Avengers, like Fantastic Four. That was my jam. But I never cared for DC, like beyond watching like the animated series, obviously. Like Batman the animated series, fantastic.
Yes.
But yeah, it was like last year, Superman was in theaters, and I wasn't a big fan of like the DCEU movies, like some good moments here and there, sure, but beyond that, anyways, moving on.
Oh,
I was
I'll
like,
just
you know
tell
what?
you, I agree. But,
Okay.
but yeah, keep going.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't want to fight a Snyder fan here,
Sure.
but
You won't.
okay, perfect. I one odd night, me and my girlfriend, I was like, "Do you want to go to the movies? Let's see what's out there." And I was like, Superman.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't looking forward to it, like in the sense that I was like anticipating going to see it, and I was like, let's just go check it out. Superheroes, I'm all for it. And I came out of that theater like mind blown, because that Superman 2025 was fantastic, and it ignited a joy for DC that I never had before, to where after that I started going and reading DC and reading those comics, and I got into some Batman Hush and Batman Year One and Long Halloween, and then All-Star Superman and Birthright, all fantastic comics. But I never really thought of reading into Supergirl. I didn't really know what was out there. I was just getting into the world, and then all the hype for Supergirl, and I was like, well, Superman was great. I very much trust in James Gunn.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about, how insane comic to screen adaptation Supergirl is, because Superman was just that, like not like a story to screen, but like very of character.
Yeah.
So I read, I was like, let me get this Woman of Tomorrow comic, got the compact, perfect, read through it, fell in love with it, watched all the trailers. I was like, this is literally comic to screen adaptation is nuts. And the art of the comic is incredible. I'm suspecting you've read it, obviously.
Yeah. Recently I was like, well, let me check out this book that I've heard was good for a while, and the art just absolutely floored me.
The color of it now, it was hard to comment on it at first, because the compacts, like, while I love them for getting into stories and how cheap they are, the quality of them isn't the greatest. It's on paper, it's kind of muted coloring. But then, you get the bigger book with like the more higher quality, more expensive. And the colors just really pop. And the movie looks bright and colorful. And I'm so excited for it.
Awesome.
All the marketing around it. Oh.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'll put this out probably long before the episode comes out, just this clip to get that out there. But I just to dive in, not a Star Wars moment at all, but fundamentally agree. Not trying to come for any Snyder fans, but I will say, his version of superheroes, I would say, are not super heroic. And I'll just kind of leave it at that. Like, they look like Batman, they look like Superman, but they don't really act much like those characters usually
very Elseworld.
Yeah, which is
like
cool.
I can appreciate you enjoying, like the action in Man of Tomorrow. Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. Yeah.
The action in Man of Steel.
Sure,
it's good. Yeah,
sure.
But that's not Superman.
He's kind of being real reckless with human lives, though.
Yeah, he's just out there aura farming. Yeah,
letting my moment that I always think of. I said I wasn't going to dog on it, and now I will. But is when him and Zod are fighting in Metropolis. Zod throws a tanker truck at him. Superman dodges it and poses in front of a building that is exploding behind of him, presumably full of human beings.
Yeah.
And then you get the James Gunn movie, which is more of what Superman traditionally is, going out of his way to save squirrels in a fight with a kaiju. Anyway.
And you get that like aura farming, like Superman looking cool in the rubble of a building that he stopped from falling on innocent civilians.
On one person.
Didn't have anyone in the building, which I think looks just as cool, if not cooler, with the backstory of his kindness and his empathy and symbol of hope.
Okay, we agree.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank God. Awesome.
Well, and one other question before I get into this silly game we're going to play. But
Go
this
for
is silly, stupid. But the name Noah Fulcrum, or Fulcrum Noah, my bad, I got it backwards. So is there a particular Rebel Fulcrum agent that inspired that?
Ahsoka. 100. I
Awesome.
see it. I see the Ahsoka poster in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I used to be Star Wars Center, which was generic,
Yeah.
whatever. But I've been thinking of a rebrand for years now.
Cool.
You know, some accounts are getting taken down over the last couple of years, and some people were thinking it's because they had Star Wars in their name, and it was like the likeness of thinking they're impersonating Star Wars, or whatever the reasons Meta took them down. But I also started creating content with like my face, because for like 8 to 9 years of my 10 years running this page, it was literally just fact posts. Like there was not like a person behind it. Whereas like recently I've gotten more comfortable putting myself out there. And I wanted, a name and a rebrand that kind of more focused on that, as well as, I can, touch on some of my other passions now, DC that we were talking about, Marvel, comics, books, like a broader scope while still focusing on Star Wars. And Rebels being my favorite show, which, we'll talk about our favorite stuff later on in this episode, but always love Ahsoka as a character and love Rebels. So, I wanted something a little bit more unique, but, I still had my name and my brand. So I was like going back and forth with Brandon, shout out Clan Brandalorian.
Yeah.
And I just like hopped on Fulcrum, and we were both like, that's it.
Awesome. Hey, no, we're big Ahsoka fans over here. And I'll tell you, anything that like any opinions that you have, I'm going to go, awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Ahsoka especially, we love us some Ahsoka Tano in these parts. But all right, let's get into this silly, stupid game real quick.
Oh boy.
We're going to blind rank 5 Star Wars movies. So the first one that I put up here was intentional, because I think I know where it's going to go. But where would you put, so it's 5 of them. You got to rank each of them individually, right? If you haven't done blind ranking before.
I do these all the time in my head when I watch them. And I'm always scared that if I ever do one of these, I'm going to forget my placements.
I'll help you out as we go. For sure.
Good. I don't trust my memory.
So, coming up first, Return of the Jedi.
Oh, number 1. Man, easiest. Easiest.
Yeah. All right, well, there we go.
I listen to people in the fandom, and a lot of the time they dog on Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't see why. Get mad about some Ewoks? Okay.
Well, it's, so, to be an old head for a moment, I mean, I was born in 89, so I grew up in the VHS original trilogy era, right?
Yeah.
The thought process for years was that A New Hope was kind of an easygoing, good movie. Empire was like the good one. And Return of the Jedi was the one with teddy bears for kids.
Yeah.
And only in the last 10, 15 years have people really started to appreciate it for whatever reason. But I think that movie rocks. So,
absolutely.
And a strong one, that's respectable. Okay. But so, Return of the Jedi, number 1. Next up, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay, now, don't get me wrong. I love Mando and Grogu. It was everything I wanted the movie to be. A fun adventure with some fun characters. We got some Grogu character development. Growing up a bit. But I think I'd have to see. I don't know what else you're putting on this list. I'm gonna go with number 4.
Number 4, okay.
I feel like there's a lot of other Star Wars that I think I would put above.
All right. Okay, so we got Return of the Jedi at 1, Mando and Grogu at 4. Coming up next, Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, number 2. Okay. Yeah. No, this is my ranking. Number 1's Return of the Jedi.
Awesome.
Number 2's Revenge of the Sith. Okay.
That's right.
I'm liking this so far.
Okay, cool. Well, real quick, take the floor. Why is Revenge of the Sith so high for you?
Oh man, I feel like Revenge of the Sith is like a canon event in most Star Wars fans' lives.
Yeah.
For me growing up in the early 2000s, I was a 2001 baby. Prequels was my jam. And I don't know how many times I rewatched and forced my parents to rewatch Revenge of the Sith every Friday night. And every Friday night I would watch. And every Friday night I would see Anakin turn. And every Friday night I would have that hope that he would choose a different path, even though I'm watching a DVD of a pre-recorded movie. And I was disappointed every Friday night. with him still falling to the dark side. It's just such a fantastic movie. Hayden Christensen's acting in it is great. I don't care what anyone says. He did a great job. The fight between Obi-Wan is my second favorite fight in the franchise. It's visually, it is the best. It's just so good. The opening is probably the best opening in Star Wars.
Yeah.
On the Venator, it's all calm, hops down, drops, and then it's just like the war over Coruscant. The only thing I could say is I wish we got a bit more of that war.
Yeah.
If it was the Clone Wars, would have been great. But it's just a beautiful movie. So emotional.
Awesome. Well, it's so funny because that's another one. I was in high school when that one hit, and at the time everybody went, "Well, there's a prequel movie that was good," and the world kind of moved on. And I was like, "Well, I liked that one," but again, only recently has kind of your generation started to go, "No, this movie's great.
Yeah,
this movie's an all-timer." Which
also,
it's
not
awesome.
the only good prequel. All right,
sure. I'm not saying
great.
That's what I think,
I know,
but yeah.
But Phantom Menace is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones is even fantastic, though I can understand a bit of the skepticism with the earlier ones compared to Revenge, of course. But yeah, prequel's my jam.
Love it. All right. So we got Return of the Jedi at 1, Revenge of the Sith at 2, Mando and Grogu at 4. So you've got 2 movies to go and 1 to pick.
I'm scared with how this has gone so far.
So coming up next, The Force Awakens.
Because this is 100% in third now. But I'm just scared what else you're going to give me now because I have Mando at 4. Damn. The Force Awakens is easily in third. It's better than Mando and Grogu. Like, I love The Force Awakens. Intro to Rey as a character, which I love Rey as a character. She's not a Mary Sue. She's fended for herself for the first, 18 years of her life. I don't remember how old she is. But she has a lot of training and that deep connection to the Force. We've seen people do incredible things once they fully give themselves to the Force. I recently finished reading Maul Shadowhunter.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Spoiler alert to anyone listening, but when Darsha gives herself to the Force and then she does incredible things with it, like it just only adds fuel to that fire that the Force can do wonderful things for anyone. So no hate. It sucked we lost Han in the movie, but I thought it was like a great start to a trilogy. Now, debate whatever you want about the rest of it, but I thought it was a fantastic start. Is it a New Hope ripoff? Kind of, but I still enjoy it all the same.
Just so you know, man, everything you're saying, I'm like, we agree on so much more than I even thought that we did.
Perfect. Make it so much easier.
All right. Well, so the nature of these blind rankings has to be somewhat of a trap. And I'll tell you, I remember I listened to the episode with you and Brandon of More Civilized Pod before our first attempted interview, which was like 2 months ago. So I remembered that Return of the Jedi was high, but I didn't remember anything else. But so no fixing it. Coming in at number 5.
I already know what this is going to be. The
Empire Strikes Back. How are you feeling?
Terrible.
So I think that's the bit. I won't post this free of any context. I won't put like Noah's list and like no
my
explanation.
Actual ranking.
I imagine if you changed it, where would you put Empire? Now that you know,
I'd have it at my 3rd spot, which I know a lot of people are going to feel weird about because I can agree that Empire is probably arguably the best made movie from like a film bro standpoint, where we're talking about those types of movies. But it has so much nostalgia for it. But I think just like being that prequel fan, that Revenge is just over it for me. With my connection to it, and a lot of Star Wars is how we feel about things, not what's objectively better. But I think I would just it'd be in 3rd, and then I would just drop Mando to 5th, and then I'd drop Force Awakens to 4th, and then put it in 3rd. That's the only. But otherwise, I'm not terribly mad at the list. But
well, it's funny. Today we released our movie rankings episode, and I'll just I'll admit, I had A New Hope at 1. And I know people are going to think that's crazy, ranking A New Hope. Empire was my 2, but I didn't even... I was like, I know it's weird, but that's where I'm at. You want to talk about things that make me feel a certain way? That will always be my favorite one.
It's
Is
what
it
started
the best
everything
made?
off.
Like, it's not the best made movie at all. You can
No.
see the seams on costumes and set pieces sometimes, but I love everything that movie stands for. But I'll spare you the rant.
No, I put my ranking out, and obviously movies will shift in my ranking. My top few and my bottom few will always stay relatively the same, but like the middle, depending on how I'm feeling on a certain day. But one of my rankings, I had Solo above A New Hope, and that pissed a lot of people off. My comment sections were not happy on that one at all. But I'm a Solo truther to the end. That's my jam.
I love Solo, A Star Wars Story. I think that's by far the most underrated Star Wars movie.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But so to get into the thick of it, man, like you said something that I fundamentally agree with, like Star Wars isn't real, right? It's fiction. It's fun.
Yeah.
And especially with this franchise, it's not about objectivity. It's about subjectivity and what it means to you. The reason this show exists is to find out what Star Wars means to as many different people as possible. So to get into it, where were you when you first saw Star Wars, or what's the first Star Wars memory that you can remember?
I know I've heard the stories. It started with my dad showing me A New Hope. I have the VHSs like right above my head on my wall.
Cool.
It was the original trilogy. How I feel like 99% of the fandom started their Star Wars journey with A New Hope, into Empire, into Return. Mind you, I don't remember those days because I was probably like 3 or 4 years old when they first showed it to me, because my dad was a big nerd on all of this. So he obviously wanted to put that impression on me, and now it's lasted 24 years of my life. But yeah, I don't know. I think my first like vivid memory was probably those Friday nights watching Revenge of the Sith, and picturing a different outcome that never came. But another vivid memory that was around the same time was that 2008 Clone Wars movie, because I remember, don't know why, I remember that car ride to the theater and how excited I was. And watching and being like, Ahsoka, this is so cool. Like Anakin, what? Like Obi-Wan, Yoda, Stinky the Hutt. Like, this is nuts. To think, 18 years later, if my math is probably horribly wrong on that, but
no, you're right.
Wow,
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself now. Pat on the back on that one. But that, 18 years later, we'd have Stinky the Hutt on a big screen in live action, voiced by Jeremy Allen White, it's
crazy.
Bonkers. But that's like one of those vivid ones that stays with me is the excitement on that car ride. And then afterwards being like mind blown, and then my like love kind of coming back for it. And then all the Lego sets that came out with the Clone Wars, that got lost to the bin, that I really wish I still had. But
no, that's awesome. Because and you mentioned earlier that everybody goes through a bit of a kind of like a falling out with their nerdiness or with their fandom or whatever. And I was sitting there going, maybe I didn't have one. And then I remembered I absolutely did. From about the time after episode 3 came out, maybe until maybe for that 6 years or so, 2005 to 2011, I wasn't really, I still loved Star Wars, but I wasn't getting in on Clone Wars, especially because I was like, I mean, it's for kids, which it was, and that was the right move. And I watched that movie now, and it's a little hokey and campy, but it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It sold kids on the TV show. It let people know the TV show was happening. And especially when you see the way Clone Wars grew up with its audience, that's one of my favorite Star Wars things ever. But, so we talked about kind of what got you started. If you had to pick one, who's your favorite Star Wars hero?
Oh, man. See, I got my top 4, but to pick a one is crazy. For the longest time, my number one hero was Qui-Gon. Cool. I am that's probably the answer.
Cool.
And in recent years, I've always been a Luke fan. That's my top 4 is Luke, Qui-Gon, Ahsoka, and Kanan Jarrus. Those are my top 4. Now, my 1 and 2 is kind of that Qui-Gon and Kanan. But I'm just such a Qui-Gon stan to the end of my times, especially being a huge fan of the Phantom Menace. the idea that if he survived, the outcome of the universe could have been so different, hence Duel of the Fates.
Yep.
But, I've getting into his comics and reading Master and Apprentice and really seeing his thought process when it came to the Order and how he viewed the Force and the Jedi and how to be a good person. One of my favorite quotes of all time is, I turn to the light because it's there.
Yes.
I probably misquoted that horribly, but
that's what it is.
Oh, perfect. I'm on the ball today. This is great. Yeah, one of my favorite quotes in all of Star Wars, and it just speaks to what the Jedi should have been and to who he was as a character. And if we're talking about like heroes, it's him or Kanan, but I think I'd have to go Qui-Gon. Yeah.
I love that answer. I love Qui-Gon Jinn, love Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I'm always the guy that's pounding the table for more Qui-Gon Jinn stories.
Absolutely.
I still want to know, and you might be the person to ask. I don't think they've said this anywhere, but Master and Apprentice alludes to him having like a pendant or a piece of jewelry or something from like a long lost love interest, and I don't think they mentioned on Felucia. That like, well, yeah, that's that person you had feelings for on Felucia, and Qui-Gon's like, shut up, I don't want to talk about that. And I don't think anybody else has ever picked that up, right?
I didn't pick that up until just now. Mind you, it's been a good, I don't remember when the book came out, but like 5 or 6 years since I've read it. I do want to reread soon, though, actually, now that I'm talking about this. But
there we go.
Yeah, I want to say I remembered that because I was like, the similarities between that and Obi-Wan with Satine are very close. Oh, that's crazy. I don't remember that, but
yeah. Okay.
I might have to look into that now.
If one of us ever gets to interview Claudia Gray, that'll be the question we got to ask. Be like, bro, what's the deal? And
you got to tell me the backstory now. Who is this?
She'll probably say, I can't tell you, but Well, okay. Fantastic answer. Great choice. And so, because there must always be people that disrupt the balance of the Force.
Of course.
If you could pick one, who's your favorite villain?
I feel like the easy answer is Vader. I mean, he's like the guy.
Yeah.
He is very much a villain. I have this argument. I'm like, he's not really a bad guy. He's just a broken man. But at the end of the day, he did a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Maul's jumped up on my list in recent years. I was never a big Maul person. Was he cool? Like 100%, like as a kid. But compared to like other villains that we've gotten such like more content around and fleshed out more and in recent media, like Maul has really jumped up, especially with Shadow Lord coming out earlier this year. Truly fantastic. Yeah, it'd probably be Vader. I feel like that has to be.
Yeah, you can't beat the classics. Like even when they made the sequels, they were like, well, we can't outdo Darth Vader, so let's make him obsessed with Vader, and he's mad that he can't be as good
as Vader. Yeah,
which
love Ben Solo still, but.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, Ben Solo might be my number one Disney created character. I'll have to think about that. He's
on my list. 100%.
I know that's a hot take.
No, because we got Legacy of Vader comic. I don't know if you've read that one.
Yes.
But that really made me love his character more than I already did.
Cool.
Yeah. That's why I want The Hunt for Ben Solo. When that came out, I was on board with it.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I'll get mad again.
Yeah.
Is it? I won't get into it.
No.
But, and you saw that there's going to be another Kylo Ren comic.
Yeah, and I trust everything Charles Soule touches. He has never steered me wrong before with his Vader comic series, with his work in the High Republic.
Yeah.
Phase 1, fantastic books. If you haven't read them, can't recommend them enough. And then, Legacy of Vader. I think he did the original Kylo comic series where it,
Rise of Kylo Ren.
Where we explored him in the original Ren, or not the original Ren, but the Ren before him. And then getting more Kylo content now. Just give me a TV show. Just give me what Clone Wars was to the prequels. Just give me that for the sequels.
And it should be called Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy. But I've been pounding the table for that for years, and all the listeners are like, shut up, Matt, you say this enough, so I won't say anything else. But that would be the dream. But so we got your favorite hero. We got your favorite villain. Who's your favorite random alien background character, Glup, Shitto, whatever you want to call it?
See, my favorite background character used to always be Embo.
Cool.
He was my favorite bounty hunter since the Clone Wars, like
Cool.
sledding down the hill and doing flips and everything about his character. He's not really a Glup Shitto, you know, he's kind of moved his way into, you know, kind of maybe out of that. Therm Scissor Punch. Shout out my man. I gotta show some love to to Solo.
Awesome.
Yeah. Because I don't want to like pick just some random person. Yeah, it's gotta be Therm.
It's just that's the best name in Star Wars, and I don't think it's close. It's stupid.
It's a crab named Therm. Like you can't beat that.
And then naturally, you know, you brought up Sam earlier, the Jawa did, and he brought up, of course, that the full name, Thermoculus Crescentfolt Scissor Punch, which
I didn't even know he had a full name. That is incredible.
Only Sam would know that.
Yeah.
No offense, Sam, if you're listening, but like, come on, dog.
He has the most niche of Star Wars knowledge just hiding up there, like to know that Therm, this gambler in Solo, has like a full like royal English name.
It's true. But I can still say that I beat him in Star Wars trivia on Explore the Force. Damn. So it might have been close, but I beat anyway. It doesn't matter. As soon as there's another rematch, he will destroy me, I'm sure. But so to make this about you and not me or Sam, if you had a lightsaber, what color would it be?
Green, 100%.
It's instant.
Yeah, you know, as Star Wars fans, you know, we ask these questions to ourselves, and yeah, like I'd have all my favorite characters minus Kanan have a green lightsaber. And green being my favorite color is just kind of a no-brainer.
Awesome.
Luke has it. Qui-Gon has it. Yoda has it.
That's awesome. I'm the same way, but I'm like, I don't want to say basic, but I'm the most basic. I'm like blue immediately, always and forever.
Original Luke, Anakin, Kanan, Ezra.
My favorite color. It was, you know,
Ahsoka.
When I went to I went to Galaxy's Edge. They were like, "What color?" Blue. Just immediately. Thank you. No debate. Just give this to me.
Yeah,
but awesome.
It made video games easy. Like I'm playing Fallen Order, and you finally get all these like customizations, and I'm like, not green, easy.
Yep, love that.
Yellow is also kind of growing on me. Especially with like the High Republic and everything. A lot more yellow lightsabers coming into. Yeah, it's so cool. But yeah, it's gotta be green.
Well, and I gotta ask you about that because you mentioned, I should have said whatever. You mentioned High Republic. I read the first like 5 novels, and then life got busy, and I fell off the wagon, and I haven't finished it. I want to. Did you read the whole initiative? Or all the main adult novels?
I'm still working through them. Like my knowledge is strictly phase 1. Cool. I've gotten a bit more into phase 2, especially with like the manga. Like Edge of Balance is great. Yeah. But I have such a big TBR on books that like I've just entered the world of Brandon Sanderson.
Dude.
I finished the Mistborn trilogy. I could have a full episode just talking about those 3 books. Hero of Ages being my favorite book of all time currently. Cool. But I've only really dabbled in the first phase. You know, I'm trying to get through the young adult novels.
Yeah.
Before I move on to phase 2 with the rest of the adult books, and then into phase 3. And I'm also trying to get into the comics for phase 1. I have the omnibus that's been on my shelf for 2 years now that I haven't gotten into. As I buy comics weekly and read those instead. But I know I don't want to rush through it. I want to like savor it. Because cool. Like phase 1 was fantastic.
Light of the Jedi might be my favorite Star Wars novel ever. It's so
I completely
good.
get that.
It's almost flawless. Like I've re-listened to that on Audible I think 3 times. Which similarly, I should be reading the rest of the stuff, but I don't. I just keep going back to Light of the Jedi because I like it so much.
Mind you, like I don't remember. See, I would say I'm blanking on book 2's name. Is it Rising Storm? Or is that the last one?
Yes, Rising Storm.
Yeah, that would probably be my favorite in phase 1.
Cool.
The ending of it, I'm not going to spoil it. I had me in tears.
Oh, I know what happens.
Had me in tears.
But
it's I read those last year when I started getting back into the High Republic and into Star Wars novels and reading a lot more now that I was done school. But Light of the Jedi I read when it first came out years ago. So I definitely need to revisit it because everyone says it's the
Yeah.
best in the trilogy, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it's easily Rising Storm, but I might have to revisit it.
Rising Storm's great too. I think it's that Light of the Jedi is like, and to sell it to people listening, it's very kind of Force Awakens coded in that it is nonstop and it introduces this whole era, but purely like actively. There's no real slowdown for exposition. It's just, and we're on to the next problem, the next problem, the next problem. And the whole book just keeps moving while staying like character based.
Yeah.
So
It keeps you turning the page. It
Yeah.
does a great job at setting the tone for the universe. And, the height of the Jedi and this power and, it's peace times. And it's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
Beautiful series.
Awesome.
Beautiful era.
Awesome. Agreed.
Give me more High Republic.
Please. Just please, Filoni. But all right, so but sticking with the visuals of Star Wars, if you could have a Star Wars tattoo, what would it be?
I have a couple.
Cool.
I want to see if I can. I got Luke's helmet.
Awesome.
I got Tatooine, Luke's homestead.
Cool.
And Lego Yoda was my first tattoo ever, which is funny.
Awesome.
And then I have a couple other ones. But my next tattoo that I'm planning, I want a lightsaber on my forearm.
Cool. Now,
as to whose lightsaber it is, I'm going back and forth. And it's the reason I haven't gotten the tattoo yet is because I can't decide whose lightsaber I want. Luke's episode 6 lightsaber is one of my favorites. Qui-Gon's episode 1, one of my favorites. Kanan's lightsaber, Rebels, part of me I was like, let me just pick it to 2 and then just do half and half. But I was like, do I have to pick a dynamic duo?
You could do one on each side of your forearm.
On different arms too. But no, one I have for sure. I haven't worked out the details of it specifically. I'm going to leave that up to my tattoo artist, but I want to do something around Kanan and the Loth Wolves. Because the Loth Wolves are one of my favorite aspects of Star Wars. I love when they do weird force creature animal things. And, Rebels being my favorite show and Kanan being one of my favorite characters, the wolf connection to me was crazy growing up. So I wanted one of those, like the wolf doom with like the forehead tattoos. I wanted something like naturey with that. Don't know what exactly, but I was going to just dump my brain onto a sheet of paper and then just give it to my tattoo artist and be like, do something like this. And see what she makes up. But yeah, those are ones I know for sure I want.
That's awesome. Well, I'll give you credit. The most common answer has been like, I don't know, probably Binary Sunset. So you've got that.
I already have it. I did that.
Yeah. So you're like, not only do I have that already, I'm going to go Kanan and the Loth Wolves. It's a deep cut that is awesome.
Or, I could get Therm on my butt. That'd be pretty cool.
What was it? I think it was Memoby came on the show, and he was talking about how he wanted, I can't remember the specifics now, but it was like the secret pack the Easter egg secret that you can get in the Lego games. It was like a particular type of Lego, and he was going to get it as a tramp stamp.
That's great.
And him and several of his buddies were going to get the tattoo together. That's incredible. It broke me. I laughed for a long time.
Oh my God.
Shout out me,
That's a great. Yeah, get the blue stud. That'd be great.
Most original tattoo idea I'd ever heard. But okay. So this whole universe, Star Wars universe, is built on stories, right? And a lot of people have taken this different question a bunch of different ways. So some people have been their favorite story from the universe, their favorite story from how Star Wars has impacted their life or something in the real world. It can be whatever you want. But what is your favorite Star Wars story?
See, you gave me the list of questions, and this is the one that to this day I still don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
I feel like this might be a generic answer, but the idea of hope.
Cool.
That Superman 2025, I'm back on that topic, did so well. But that I feel like it's just an aspect of every single Star Wars project that comes out is always, there's hope out there, whether it be the prequels ending with the hope of the twins or, Luke always being the best person possible. Or you have Andor, rebellions are built on hope. just the idea that everything comes down to like there are better times ahead, and putting that out into the world nowadays, with how dark things can look, I think is just always something great to have. Yeah, just picking one story though is really difficult. Yeah.
If it helps, everybody struggles with this. They're
Yeah,
like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it could be anything.
See, yeah, but then you could take this question so many different ways.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't even know how to answer this. This is terrible.
I mean, it could be your favorite character arc. It could be,
Yeah.
anything.
See, I could piss off Brandon and just talk about how great Solo is right now. I love giving him a hard time with that. No, he's just a bit lower on Solo than most people, but I just put it out into the universe that he's like a Solo D1 hater. And like now, like Skywalking Ryan has jumped on it, and like it's just out there that he's a Solo hater when he's not, and it's just so funny to me.
I'll jump on this bandwagon. We're gonna get him on the show at some point soon, and I'll
be like,
hey,
yeah. I've heard you don't like Solo.
I heard you hate Solo. Like,
yeah,
explain.
Please. Oh my God, I'd pay money to watch that. Yeah, I think I have to come back to the idea of hope. I'm gonna say it's a story from Rebels, and I'm gonna say Kanan's arc is just so well done, where you have this. Because I read the Kanan comics as well, which have since been retconned, but that that child so full of hope in the Order, being born into war times to then losing everything but finding family somehow, and always being closed off to the world, hiding himself and who he truly is, only to like meet this kid, and then all of a sudden he like lightsaber out, this is who I am world, and then being blinded, and then finding himself in the Force, and then into season 4 finding out who he truly is, and he gets his eyesight back. I'm gonna tear up talking about this. Kanan's arc, I think, has to be like one of, if not my favorite thing in Star Wars. Awesome. Luke has a great arc, throwing his weapon down in front of like the most evil person in the history of the universe. It takes some serious guts. But I just love how well done Kanan's story is in Rebels. Yeah, just from season to season, his growth, and then regressing on that in season 3, and then back to being shut off from everything. And then the Bendu comes in, who, mind you, could be one of my favorite Glup Shittos as well. And then, finally finding his purpose in the end and like giving himself to save everyone is just incredible.
Awesome. Great answer.
Yeah,
I love that. And I don't know that anybody has said Kanan's story before, and if they have, I forgot. So there you go.
Awesome.
That's an awesome answer.
I'm niche. I'm different.
Well, and you talked about hope a lot, but just kind of in general. And if it's the same thing, that's cool. But what does Star Wars mean to you?
Yeah, I think it is just that hope, that relentless fight against an oppressive force.
Yeah.
That can be seen throughout history of Star Wars and history of our world as well. But just, always in the darkest times, you can find hope. The light's there, so you turn to it. Shout out Qui-Gon again. It's just, if one word to describe Star Wars, it is hope.
Awesome.
It's in the name of the first one, so.
Yeah. Not originally, but they got there eventually.
Yeah.
They got there on the first re-release. It counts completely. All right, man. Great answers all around. And now let's do some nonsense.
Fantastic.
It's time for the Ridiculous Rathtar Random Hard Trivia question.
Oh boy.
So, and the whole idea is that I pull something really obscure, or as obscure as possible, but nobody loses. You either keep your nerd cred and prove that you're a Star Wars nerd, which we know that we both are by now, or
hopefully
you get it wrong and you just prove that you have a life. So, like, there's no worries here. But all right, let me see if I can share this screen.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, completely. All right, let's make that bigger to where you can actually see it. Okay. So in the category of like, who said it? Who said, one thing's for sure, we're all going to be a lot thinner?
Okay, I know the exact scene this is from, A New Hope, trash compactor, and it can be one of 3 characters. Oh no. because it's either Luke, Han, or Leia. That's got to be Han.
It's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to click this answer button. Let's see where we go.
One thing's for sure, we're all going to be a lot thinner.
You got it.
Oh my god, yeah.
You got it.
I was like, okay, it's not Luke, because that's not something Luke would say. And
It's
I'm like,
not
it's got to
something Luke
be
would say at
Han or
all.
Leia. But I'm like, would Leia really say that? That's definitely something Han would say.
One of my favorite goofy moments in this franchise that people forget about because it's such a quick moment. But one thing's for sure, we're all going to be a lot thinner. Ridiculous line that
Being
I
able
love
to pull
so
something like quippy and funny like that in like a time of like pure panic. Yeah. That's just Han as a character.
much. Yeah.
Shout out Solo.
Yeah. Shout out Solo, Brandon.
Yeah.
I'll tell him to
Brandon.
watch this episode or listen because, like, I'll tell him, you got some shout outs. They're really fun.
I'm going to get a text like whenever this comes out from Brandon being like, why do you keep spewing this nonsense?
For the bit. Maybe I'll cut out the part where you don't explain and you just say that he hates it.
No background, just he hates Solo.
We'll see. Well, all right, man. This was awesome. We finally made it happen. And so, like, remind the people, where can they find you? Where can they get involved with all your Star Wars content?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Fulcrum Noah. You can catch me primarily. My main platform is Instagram, where I'm most active and responding to everything and whatnot. But I do post on TikTok occasionally. You can find me on Facebook that I've really started to post on. And then, More Civilized Podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Most of them, all of them are on YouTube. Some of them are on Spotify. I just would try to run so many different platforms and different apps gives me a headache sometimes. Mind you, I haven't posted an episode in months. Cause I was really good. I was weekly, and then I got really sick for 2 weeks, and then haven't posted since. And that was 3 months ago. But I am starting to get people lined up to bring it back out. You know, I have an artist making me a logo currently.
Cool.
So some good things to look forward to on that front, and I'm definitely going to have you on. Mind you, it could take another 2-3 months to get that one to happen, but it will happen eventually.
At that point, we can talk Supergirl.
There we go.
So it would be great. And I mean, my co-host would love to be a part of it. He's just hard to reach. He's kind of a morning exclusive guy, but
it's perfect. I work from home now, so
hey,
I can take a break or whenever at any time.
That could work. Zach would be like, I get to guest on something? Yay! He rarely does.
Perfect.
But all right, man. Well, one last thing to ask you about.
Yep.
Because I haven't asked this to anybody yet. I try to keep this about an hour, and we got a little bit. But what are your kind of thoughts, feelings for where Star Wars is right now? How do you feel about kind of the state of Star Wars at June 19th, 2026?
Yeah. I think we're in a good spot. You know, everyone likes to hate. It's so easy to just hate on stuff. But you got to have hope, obviously. Mando and Grogu was a lot of fun. It was everything I wanted it to be. You know, I just wanted a fun adventure going in, and that's what it was. Saw it twice, took my girlfriend to it, and she's not a Star Wars person. But she loved it. She thought Rada was fantastic, and I was like, if only you knew his backstory. To which, on the drive back, I gave her the whole history on his character, which she thought was amusing. Stinky the Hutt, crazy.
Yeah.
But so that was great. Looking forward to what's it called? Coming out next year.
Starfighter.
Starfighter. Yeah. Bad that I'm blanking on it.
Gotcha. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. I'm a big fan of Visions. Shout out Star Wars Visions. We got the Ninth Jedi show coming out, I think, later this year. We're going to get a special look at it soon. So I'm really excited for that. We got Ahsoka coming out. I wasn't the biggest fan of Ahsoka as a show. I still think it should have been animated because it is just Rebel Season 5, but we're not going to get into the discussion. But I still enjoyed a lot of it, and I'm really looking forward for the next season, with Thrawn being a bigger threat now that he's back in the galaxy, and we're going to apparently have a showdown with him and Akbar. which I'm so excited for.
Yes.
I'm still praying for a movie to come out of all of this. That Dave Filoni Heir to the Empire that he wants to do. I'm hoping that final clash with Thrawn and his probably demise, seeing how the sequels went, that he's not part of it.
Yeah.
I would love to see that on the big screen, but yeah, I think we have a lot going for Star Wars now, especially in video games. Zero Company's coming out, which I'm really excited for. I understand it's more of a niche genre of game. Not everyone's into like tactical turn-based, which is like I'm not big into, but it's Star Wars, so. And XCOM games, I like those. So, and Pod Racer Ben Quadraneros is back, the GOAT himself. Daddy Sebulba's in it. He's got that grandpa look. He's got the beard. He's got the stash.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff for Star Wars. If only we get, a couple more announcements.
If only we get that Luke
Skywalker
Jedi
animated show. Yeah.
Anyway, not to end on a down note, but the point is, there's a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Starfighter. I'm just excited for the blank slate that movie is. That it's just wide open. I'm a big Sean Levy fan, the director of that movie. He doesn't really ever miss, and even if he misses, the movie still has a lot of heart. So I am very, very excited for whatever that's going to be. And I think Ryan Gosling is the perfect leading man for Star Wars.
Yeah, he did. But Sean Levy did Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that movie too. So yeah, and Ryan Gosling, I love him in everything he does. Shout out Driver. I think that's the name of the Drive. No.
Drive. Yeah.
Not Driver.
Yeah.
Shout out Drive. Shout out Barbie. Great movie.
I mean, you saw Project Hail Mary, right?
I haven't yet.
Oh my gosh,
I know that's
dude.
crazy.
Okay.
Okay. I was really busy around the time it came out, so I never had a shot to go.
Is it not in theaters anymore?
I don't. Unless it is, then I might try to go see it next week.
If it is, like sci-fi fan to sci-fi fan,
I know.
One of the best theatrical experiences I've had in a very long time. It is a great movie. Not to shame you on the podcast.
No, I get it. I get it. No,
movie.
shame me all you want. It only gives me incentive to go and watch it. Finally,
it's so good. It's my wife's favorite movie in the last 15 years.
That's crazy.
She's already bought it on streaming, and so more than likely, when I go home here in a couple hours after work, it will be on our television. And I'll be like, again, and she'll be like, and it's either this or Star Wars. So what are you mad about? I'll be like, that's fair.
Yeah,
but
got it.
Right on, man. This was awesome. Thanks for sharing what Star Wars means to you. Thanks for being a good sport with all the questions. And we'll have to reach out to Brandon and make sure that he knows that I know that he hates Solo, a Star Wars story.
Just send him a message right after we're done filming. Just be like, Brandon, it's come to my attention that you don't like Solo.
So, I'm guessing I'm going to have to take him off the guest list. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Threaten it. That'd be great.
That's awesome. All right, man. And everybody's watching, listening, remember, we are not the force of others. You are, and the force of others will be with you always.
The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.